Welcome back, folks. It is the finale on the Ewok village build. There are two previous videos. I will put links in the description. Is it better than Kenner? I don't know. I'm pretty happy and the price point was right. Let's get to the table. And priming with Mod Podge.
Just painting happy little trees.
Alright, so if you want to see more detailed on how I paint up and add texture to the trees initially with paint, that is in the earlier video. Again, that link's in the description. This stuff, however, I happen to have this khaki on hand, which is the perfect color for the base of this platform. And I kind of had it because it was a nice flesh tone. And then adding just a little bit of this yellow to it gives me the right shade for the huts, kind of that hay looking stuff. Lots of stuff to make here. We're starting with the railings. You're going to see me gluing a lot of sticks together. It's just kind of like figuring out how they fit together, what works for you. I love gluing the tip of the rope on first and wrapping around and gluing it. I'm literally showing you how to do all these things here, so I'm not going to describe every piece and tell us something weird. I want to say thank you for all the engagement on and around these videos. I really have enjoyed building this. It has been a challenge. It's not the first time I've built an Ewok village, just the first time I tried to reproduce a Kenner thing. Which brings me to my request here. If you want to see me do other classic toys, like, I don't know, maybe the mini rigs from back in the day. We're seeing one of them brought back in Mandalorian recently. So that's something I might be willing to do, is build some more vintage deep dive stuff. So if you want to see that, maybe come at mini rig, what's wrong with my mouth, down below, and I will figure out which ones to build. I am amused by this whole video for a couple of reasons. Like, the universe is funny and a bunch of stuff has happened along this little journey. If you're watching this video and haven't watched the others, as I was building this thing initially, I happened to think to myself, man, I'd love to see an Ewok village in hand. Okay, let me explain this. Pipe cleaners have this wonderful twisted wire inside, and by burning off the fuzz, you end up with a wonderful looking miniature rope. So we're just going to shape it a little bit here, tack it in place with some glue right quick. I did want to look at an Ewok village from back in the day, and wouldn't you know, the universe put one in my path. Local thrift store for $150. That's a little too much for me, but I did come back a week later and buy it at half off at only $75. There is a direct comparison between that one and my build at the end of the video. Hang out for that. One craft stick in this craft build. Ha! One! Ha 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 ha! I think all told, I spent maybe $10 on this whole build. LED lights, barbecue skewers, a bunch of super glue. I think that's a pretty good price point comparison. Now, I did something amusing along the lines. As I was editing this, I managed to land on a particular timestamp for the whole video. And if you take a look and see what it is and understand why I find that amusing, comment below. Let me know what it is about that timestamp, that length of the video number that is so amusing here. And here we're getting going on that chariot kind of thing, that thing so they can carry the golden god. And trimming off the excess. Yep, everything's good. Let's get moving. We got more to do. And the rock. You ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender? It's a wonderful parody of his character in there. The boulder. The boulder is conflicted about smashing Imperial troopers. The boulder is over it. What's it called when you castrate a horse? Oh, right, that's right. Gelding. And they're off! Was that too much? Did I go too far? Thing looks like a testicle, and now I'm going to cover it with this rubber. That doesn't really help a whole lot. Looks good in the end, though. Do y'all know I have a huge back catalog? 300 plus videos. I got a lot of stuff. Maybe check some of that out. There might be something there that you could put into your next game. Alright folks, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and subscribe and like this video. You know the drill. It helps the channel, it helps the algorithm, helps you because you want to see more of this stuff. You don't want to miss out on my next awesome build. Man, this fire pit, I put so much effort into this thing. It ended up being simpler than I thought it would be, and yet still kind of tricky to get it all done. Using food packaging here, my wonderful wife got some pastries in that or something. And just sand that up so it diffuses the light. And so I bought that light on Amazon. I think I got 2 of them for about $4, $5. And I just couldn't do with a static little nothing fire pit here. I had to go a little bit further. And I'm super happy with how it ended up in the end. I do think that this would be an easy way to build up a really nice little fire pit to have that's just for your encounters, not attached to something. A little bit better, kind of a step up from the atypical Tealight that we all have done before. Nothing wrong with those, they're a great starting point. So another odd thing that happened while doing this build is it happened to run across May the 4th. That, you know, the unofficial holiday. It's kind of fantastic. Just so much synchronicity that happened during this build and so much wonderful reactions there. See, isn't that look so much better than just a flat thing with a sticker? Glad I went through the effort here. And then we're just gonna pop the battery pack underneath and secure it with a chunk of Velcro. Nice and easy. If I need to change the batteries, it'll be easy to do so. And gack on a bunch of glue and just kind of like move it until it kind of seats the best you can get it to seat. See, everything works. Mushrooms, 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 because you know I'm a fun guy. I had a bunch of these leftover little wooden discs. They're very easy to just cut. So we're just going to draw some circle shapes on there, do it on the little ones. That gives the larger ones a chance to cool down enough that we can come back here now and go along that factory edge, just hiding that perfect round. Now I decided to go ahead and put these on the one tree that's had its heartwood rot out. Like maybe those mushrooms are like, this thing's dying, I gotta eat me some of that. Alright, now that that's dry, we're gonna go ahead and take some more of those pipe cleaners I burned the fuzz off of. And that kind of sounds like a hate crime to some furries. That's terrible, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, twist these in place, and I'm also gonna make a little loop so it's easier to tie that jute onto here in a minute. And then we can give it a test swing. Yep, that'll knock something over. While we're at it, let's tie some of this onto the elevator. Yep, that's gonna be great. Let's start assembly. We're so close, guys. We're so close. However, snip that tip. There we go. First floor, lamps, lingerie. Alright, if you were there for the first video, you know I destroyed that grinder. Went out and bought another one. And destroyed that one. Yeah, thrift store grinders, what you gonna do? That last one lasted me for years. If you want to see a more in detailed bit about covering everything in moss, that again is in that first tree video. Link is still down in the description. And wonderful little detail, some ferns and other plants knocked together real quick. Again, more details on that in the first video. Just kind of working through those little pieces to help sell the scale more. And we're just going to use a bit of netting from some oranges I had. And a quick bit of spray paint. Just process that about how you'd expect. Just melting those edges so it doesn't come unraveled. And then I'm just making essentially a drawstring bag here, so we just kind of go through and do it like that. And then the taper is now in the bag. Now I figured that push pin would be the right size scale wise for a drum here. So we're just gonna process through that. A little bit of brown paint here. This is a messy paint job with this blue, and you're probably thinking, Doc, you do better work than that. You're right, I do. This is super watered down though. This is less of a coat of paint, more of a wash to stain the wood to make it look better. As I was going through stuff, I found these little baskets. So we're just gonna make a couple baskets with some fruit in it, just one more detail. Hot glue and some seed beads for some berries in this one. Pretty straightforward. Filled most of the basket with some hot glue and then some bigger beads. Make those look more like apples. Now, not only did I give them a good coat of this red paint, I did go back in with a high gloss to make them shiny. Alright, last review. We've got the net trap, we've got the see-through log, the rock, we've got the elevator that works, light up fire pit, the rotisserie works as well, added the details of the mushrooms. I'm super happy with this. Is it better than the Kenner one? We'll take a look here. It's not exactly the same size, it's a little bit on the smaller side, but it is a fun build. If you made it this long, I want to say thank you. You have a great day.